Terry Van Zandt Travis, Executive Director with Growing Futures Education Center. And with me today is...
I'm Melissa Smithson. I'm the Program Director here for our Head Start, Early Head Start programming.
So 2 years ago, our Growing Futures Board of Directors, the staff, and our parents embarked on a very comprehensive strategic planning process. Out of that, we finalized with 5 strategic initiatives, one of those being education and education. Quality education really is tied to having a safe and accessible facility. Prior to the pandemic, there were nearly 3,200 children birth to 5 living at 100% of the federal poverty threshold. That equals in your $21,720 a year. Our Head Start program in this next school year will serve 223 birth to 5 children. One of our goals with our facility is to have the space to meet the needs of our communities, and we can't do that. We are absolutely packed. We have used every accessible space for our children to the point that our staff are completely crammed in their workspaces.
They are, and they have to make decisions about how are we going to use this material, who's going to use it next, how do we shift it around, because there is no place to store it. We have in one office space, we have 8 people. During the pandemic, we know that that's very, very difficult to handle. In another, we have 6. Trying to get desks, all of those things in. Even my office, it's a program director's office, is now housed to the mailboxes and other materials that teachers can come into. So we have absolutely no space for confidential conferences or discussions that can take place. So that makes it even more difficult. Another issue are the bathrooms that we have. The building was built in the late 1940s, and as such it was designed as an elementary school with bathrooms in the hallway. We were able to take 2 of our rooms and put bathrooms in between, but those are the only 2 rooms that we can do that. Now imagine that you're a 2.5-year-old and you're in a classroom and you're just learning to use the toilet, and you have to go and your teacher has to tell you to wait so that they can line up all the children or get them in buggies so that you can go down the hallway to use a bathroom.
And on top of that, in the center that we are in, we have 50 staff and 3 single toilets for access for staff to use the restroom. Imagine again if you're a teacher in a classroom and you only have a brief amount of time to go to the bathroom and there's a line. So we would really like to have a space that provides adequate bathroom facilities for our staff and allows us to have seamless potty training for our children, because we are a center that does not require our children to be potty trained. We did not want to add that barrier, to add that stress to our families' lives, so we partner with the families to become potty trained, but it's very difficult with the multiple transition in and out of the classrooms.
And as mentioned earlier, we have issues with ADA. Again, the building was built so far before any of these restrictions came in, but none of the 3 bathrooms that we have for staff in this facility meet ADA requirements. So we've been very lucky with staff, but we also have board members. We have people in the community, so there are people that won't be able to use our facilities without additional assistance because our facilities do not meet their needs.
So a quality early learning program is about staff, it's about teachers, and our teachers have done everything possible to make their environments as high quality as they possibly can. But the ability to have bathrooms in the classrooms, adequate storage space, and ideally, one of the things that the pandemic has shown us is having fewer children in the classroom would be ideal. But we're at capacity here in the space that we are, and that's not possible.
It is not. And when you think about, you've got an elementary school classroom that is great size for an elementary school classroom. When you start putting in cribs and cots, and your cots have to be 6 feet apart, and you have to have different learning areas, because we know that that's important for our children, and finding ways for them to work in a space and maintain 6 feet of distance throughout the day is extremely difficult.
So a new building for us would mean being able to serve more children and families. So we have a wait list that typically runs between 100 and 200 children every single month with minimal recruitment on our part.
I just checked it this morning, and even with the pandemic, we have 112 on our wait list.
So the need is definitely there in our community. So we could expand, we could provide our staff space where they could do reflective supervision with their direct reports. Have a phone conversation with somebody else in the office space as well. And we could provide a space that's safe and providing a nurturing quality environment for all the children and families that we serve.
The other issues that our families have is that the location of our building for many, many years was absolutely wonderful. We are right across from an elementary school. We are right near a family home area. However, our families have to have their own transportation. We are not near a mass public transportation line, so our families either have to walk a great distance with very young children, or they have to borrow or organize other transportation methods to get here to bring their children to and from the center.
Well, we had a couple of families a year or so ago that tried to use public transportation, and it took over 2 hours to be able to get here. Imagine that with a 2-year-old on the bus with you. That's asking a lot. Even though our facility is a former elementary school, things had been redesigned before we even started to rent it, such that our kitchen is really not set up to prepare the meals here on space. We cater our meals in, we contract with a vendor. The oven that we have goes up to 350 degrees, really more of a warming station than it is a cooking station.
So as long as we're still with a limited preparation space, we have to do catered in food. We know that we could do more healthy options if we were able to have more facilities for our kitchen to be able to provide our children with a variety of nutritional meals. Right along with the kitchen, another issue that we have is laundry facilities. And during the pandemic, everything has to be washed. We have children with 4 masks a piece a day. We have staff members with 4 masks a piece a day. Our usual routine of this classroom does laundry on Monday is gone. Everybody has to do laundry every day. So if you have 12 classrooms doing laundry every day
with one washing
machine and 1 dryer, it makes it very, very difficult to get through that process.
Our next steps are to begin a capital campaign, and we hope that our community will join us in planting the seeds of change. It's time. It's time for us to have a facility that allows us to fully do all that we want to do and meet the needs of our community.
Thank you.